I wish I could say that nobody asked for this. But, Meg, the only person who's watching this, you did specifically ask for this. So, this will be a review of every single book that I've read in 2021. And there will be spoilers, so you've been warned. Starting in January, I finished reading Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, Nina Lima edition. Basically, this is just Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, but lots of pretty drawings inside, like this one right here of Diagon Alley, and then it comes out like this, and then on this side like this. So pretty snazzy, if you ask me. I don't know. It's Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. I feel like at this point everybody knows what happens in this book, so I'm not gonna be critiquing the book itself because you can watch a good review for that. And I don't think that Meg really cares, and this video is for her. So anybody else watching this, okay. Anyways, my rating for this book, there's gonna be 2 ratings. For a Harry Potter fan who has been a fan of the series for a long time and really enjoys different copies of books, this is a 10 out of 10. So basically, if you're a nerd like me, this book is a 10 out of 10. If you're a normal person who doesn't like Harry Potter that much, I don't know who does that, but if you're a normal person who doesn't like Harry Potter that much, or you haven't read the books yet and you want to start reading them, don't get the $50 book in case you don't like it, because then that's $50 and you can't return a book after you've already read it. Bookstores are not libraries. So yeah. The next book that I read in this year is Carrie. Basically, I'm pretty sure you know what Carrie is about, Meg, but in case there is, I don't know, some random person watching who doesn't know what Carrie is about, even now, like 40 years after this book has come out, and there's been like 15 movies about it. Carrie is basically about a girl who gets her period at school in the locker room, and all the other girls make fun of her. And then she has a prom, and she gets crowned prom queen or something. I don't know, I didn't have a prom. And then they dump some blood on top of her, and then she kind of murders a whole town. So, really fun stuff. Great prom night. Honestly, better than the prom that I never had. So, 7 out of 10. Yeah, 7 out of 10. The next book that I read this year made me so angry. I complained to my random friends who don't even like reading, and I kind of just assaulted them with how much I hate this book. They didn't ask for my opinion on this book, but I gave it to them. And that book is this book, The Shadows. Let me tell you, this book started out so strong. I mean, like, look at the cover. And then, where's the little... Oh, let me read you the little, like, sidebar thing. It says, "You knew a teenager like Charlie Crabtree. A dark imagination, a sinister smile, always on the outside of the group. Some part of you suspected he might be capable of doing something awful. 25 years ago, Crabtree did just that, committing a murder so shocking that it attracted a strange kind of infamy that only exists on the darkest corners of the internet and has inspired more than one copycat. Paul Adams remembers the case all too well. Crabtree and his victim were Paul's friends. Paul has slowly put his life back together, but now his mother, old and suffering from dementia, has taken a turn for the worse. Though every inch of him resists, it's time to come home. It's not long before Paul starts to discover..." That's not what that book says. "It's not long before things start to go wrong. Paul learns that Detective Amanda Beck is investigating another copycat that has struck in the nearby town of Featherbank. His mother is distressed." Doesn't that sound freaking entertaining? I mean, murder? Did it say murder? I think it said murder someplace in there. But then the ending of this book was absolutely horrible. I don't even have the right word for how much the ending of this freaking book annoyed me, because it was just so out of left field. The bad guy was only mentioned about once. So I don't like this book, and it gets a 4 out of 10. And this book is lucky that I don't burn it, because it makes me angry. Next. The next book I read was The Hunger Games. I'm gonna start this by saying, if you haven't read the Hunger Games books yet and you've only seen the movie, Meg, then watch these, because or not watch them, read them, because the books are so much better. And I know that everybody says that the books are always better, but like this book is amazing. It's a 10 out of 10. That's what I wrote on my little note card right there to tell me what I ranked the books from this year. I ranked this book a 10 out of 10. If you had one book or one series that you had to read in your entire life, and you can only pick one, read this series, because it is my favorite series of all time, like critically, not like emotionally, but critically, it's my favorite series of all time. Yeah, I'm not gonna explain the Hunger Games. If you don't know what the Hunger Games is, you've been living under a rock. And if you have been living under a rock, basically it's about children killing each other, and then the government watches. Anyways, the first one gets 10 out of 10. The second one, Catching Fire. This one gets a 9 out of 10. Obviously, sequels are never as good as the first one, but this one is pretty close. It's very good. Basically, she gets put back into the arena with older kids that already won the first games. And then she punches some people. I can't remember if she punches some people. She probably punches some people. 9 out of 10. And the last book in the series, which is my least favorite book in the series, still gets an 8 out of 10. Basically, she throws some punches at the government, and the government didn't like that. I should say arrows. She shot some arrows at the government, and they didn't like that. And they killed her sister because of it. So I said spoilers at the beginning of this, so you can't be angry that I spoiled that, because I said spoilers. So 8 out of 10. This series is probably my favorite series emotionally of all time. And I will be gatekeeping this series. I am going to say that if anybody other than Meg is watching this, don't read this series, because I frankly want to keep it all to myself. Because if anyone says anything bad about it, it will make me cry, and it will cause me to go into a depression. So, yeah, don't read this book, because I don't want to hear your opinions about it if you don't like it. But if you do like it, then tell me about them, because I haven't ever met anybody that has ever heard of these books, and I force all of my friends to listen to me talking about them. So I'm not going to explain what they're about, because I'm gatekeeping them, but I am going to rank them for you. The first book, Rippler, 10 out of 10. The second book, Chameleon, also a 10 out of 10. The third book, Unfurl, also a 10 out of 10. These three are the original trilogies, but then I loved them so much. Actually, I didn't read these when she first released them. Other people loved them so much, and they asked for more, so she wrote 4 more. Lucky for me. So then the fourth book, this is a solid 9 out of 10. It's still pretty good. Follows still the same characters. It switches perspectives though. This is a different character's perspective than the first 3. So this one is really good. The fifth book, Immutable. This is an 8 out of 10. This one, again, switches perspectives to a different character. This character kind of has to do with the original 3 books. She's mentioned in the original 3 books at the end of the third one. but like, it's really long. This is the longest book. And it doesn't even really have the main characters in it. I mean, I know there's a lot of main characters, but yeah. This one gets an 8 out of 10, because it's not that bad. Now this one, Navari, I think that's how you say it. This one gets a 7 out of 10, because I like it, but like, the main character in this one is introduced in this one, and like, it's an interesting perspective, don't get me wrong, but it lacks something that the other books have, and I think it's the main characters, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna say their names. I don't want anybody to read this book because it's mine. Yeah, this one gets a 7 out of 10 because I don't like the main character in this book as much as I like the main characters in the other one. He's kind of annoying and kind of creepy, I'm not gonna lie. He does watch a girl sleeping, so yeah, he's kind of creepy. This book, this is the last book in the series. I'm not gonna try and say that word because I can't say it. So, if you can say it, well, good for you. You can bully me about it because I can't. This book I'm giving an 8 out of 10. There's a lot of perspectives in this book, and it gets really confusing because there's so many perspectives. It's basically every single character that had a perspective in all these books has a perspective in this one at least once. And it's kind of confusing sometimes switching back between a lot of perspectives, but this book goes really fast. When I read it this year, I read it in like 5 hours while I was supposed to be stage managing. Eight out of 10. And then ending the year similar to how we started it, I just finished reading Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets Minalima edition, which is basically the same as the one that I just mentioned, only this time it has other drawings, like this one of the Whomping Willow. Yeah. This one, again, gets 10 out of 10 if you're already a Harry Potter fan, but a 2 out of 10 if you haven't read the series before, or you don't like it, or if you are just new to reading it, because why would you spend $50 on a book if you don't know if you like it, you know? Yeah. That was all of the books that I read this year. My goal for this year was 10 books, and I read at least 10 books, so I passed my goal. Leave in the comments what you think my next year's goal should be, but like, please no more than like 25, because I'm depressed and I have school, so yeah. Anyways, Merry Christmas, Meg. Also, I was gonna say, like, do me a review of every book that you've read this year, but you've read about enough books to fill a library this year, and I don't have time to watch that video, so give me a tour of your houseplants, please, instead, because I would love that. So, thank you. Merry Christmas. I love you. Bye.